Today on the channel, we're going to look at one of the 4 classic Metallica albums. That's Kill 'Em All, released in 1983, Ride the Lightning, released in 1984, Master of Puppets, released in 1986, and Justice for All, released in 1998. Today we're going to look at Master of Puppets, which is probably the most well-known album out of all these 4 records. One of the best thrash metal albums of all time, and one of the best metal albums of all time, has to be Master of Puppets. The production sounds great, the flow of the album is flawless, and the songwriting improved upon Ride the Lightning. Not that Ride the Lightning was a bad album, far from it, but I think this album has the best songwriting out of all the 4 records. And here are the liner notes for Master of Puppets. Honestly, the lyrics are nice and all, but I think they could have added a little bit more. Also, they could have made the images full color, instead of just having these black and white pieces of crap. Before we get onto the album itself, I want to talk about one thing in particular. The song lengths. You see, on previous albums, the songs had generally about a 5 to 4 minute running time. But there would be some songs that would be, 6 to 8 minutes. On Master of Puppets, there's no song under the 5-minute mark. It's either 5 minutes, 6 minutes, or 8 minutes. And it goes beyond that at some points. Even though the songs are long, they're able to hold your attention. It's not like later albums like, Load or Reload, even Death Magnetic, where the songs feel like they drone on forever. And on this album, that doesn't happen very often because of these iconic songs, which I'm just now getting into. We're actually going to start with Battery, the awesome aggressive song that doesn't start very aggressive at all. In fact, it has an acoustic intro that then carries into the thrash metal. Man, I love the middle part of this song. Right before the solo kicks in and Kurt is just jamming away, oh, it's so good. Moving on, we have Master of Puppets, the title track. If you want to introduce someone to Metallica, this is the song to introduce them to. The iconic lyrics, the amazing guitar solos, that wonderful in-between part at the 3-minute mark where it kind of goes into this ballad. See, this entire song resembles what Metallica is made of. They can do both thrash and they can go pretty soft. On songs like Fade to Black is another perfect example. This song has always been a part of the live set for Metallica. Same with songs like One, which I'll talk about that song later. But right now, let's move on to The Thing That Should Not Be. A 6-minute song, which is very underrated in my opinion. I think it's a very heavy song that starts off with another kind of softer tone. The bass is just kind of soft in this part, and then it kicks into the thrash metal. Very heavy, very awesome track. I love the solo on this album. It's like, a minute and a half long? And then it moves back into this pacing where it goes from soft to then very thrashy, soft and thrashy, which is something I really like. Next, we have Welcome Home, Sanitarium. This song immediately feels like a ballad. Next, we have Welcome Home, Sanitarium. It's a metal ballad that starts off very slow, but then works its way up to the thrash metal. You remember that song Fade to Black off of Ride the Lightning? Well, it's pretty much just using that formula, but it's done really well here. Then we have Disposable Heroes, another 8-minute song that does not feel like it drones on for 8 minutes. It's actually feels like a pretty short song when you listen to it. That's how great this album is, and that's how great this song is. It talks about war, the horrors of war, for seeing your friends die, bodies littering fields, and how soldiers are trained to kill without caring. After that, it's on to Leper Messiah, a 5-minute song that talks about religion, pretty much how it brainwashes people and how you're supposed to follow arbitrary rules. Orion. Now let me tell you something about Orion. This is a very special song. It's an instrumental that's 8 minutes long, and it has some of the best soloing by Cliff Burton ever. Has some of the best soloing by James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett. And the drums are awesome in this song. The intro to this song is just perfect. It's got that awesome bass line, and then it kicks up with the drums. Oh, it's just so brilliant. Finally, we have Damage Incorporated, the very last song on this album, and man, does it just kick your teeth in. It's fast, it's brutal, and it's just so thrashy. It's so awesome. The solos on this song is great. The vocals on this song is great. Pretty much the guitars and the bass and the drums all kick your teeth in so hard and you just can't get away from it. It's a beating that you love to have, pretty much. But there is one thing I must talk about before ending this album. During the touring of Master of Puppets, we lost a legend. Cliff Burton on bass. He was killed in the bus accident that happened during this tour. And man, all I could say is, we miss you, Cliff. I mean, could you imagine what Cliff Burton would be like today? how awesome he would be today. Just maybe the whole scope of Metallica would be different. Maybe albums like the Black Album would be totally different. Maybe even Load and Reload wouldn't have happened if Cliff Burton had died. But we will never know. And that's really sad. Sorry to end this on a sad note, but that's just the way it is. Not everything always comes to a good end. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in another video.